Hello and welcome to Baiju's Exam Prep IAS. I welcome you all to today's daily quiz. Wishing every one of you a very happy Holi. I hope all of you had a safe and memorable Holi today. Let's begin with the first question on your screen. The prestigious Pritzker Prize is conferred in the field of virology, architecture, efforts towards world peace, or efforts towards gender parity. The answer to this question would be B. This is a prize given to a living architect. This is considered as the biggest prize in the field of architecture. This is the prize that is funded by the Pritzker family and is sponsored by the Hyatt Foundation. This is considered to be one of the world's most premium architecture prizes and is often referred to as a Nobel Prize of Architecture. This is given to honor those living architects whose work demonstrates a combination of qualities of talent, vision, and commitment, and has produced consistent and contributed mainly to humanity and built environment through the art of architecture. This year's Pritzker Prize has been given to the British architect Chipperfield, and that is why this has been in the news. Second question. Consider the following statements with regards to India's carbon sink. Number one. India is committed to increase its carbon sink by 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent by 2030, but it has not formally submitted to the UNFCCC the clarification that the baseline year for this would be 2005. Second, India has committed to increase its carbon sink by 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent by 2030 through creation of additional forest cover and tree cover. Third, as per the Forest Survey of India, India's forest and tree cover had a carbon sink of 29.38 billion tons of CO2 equivalent in 2015. How many of these given statements are incorrect? Now, this is a tricky question mainly because it has a lot of numbers. All the three given statements are absolutely true. India did commit as a part of a commitment in the UNFCCC that we will increase our carbon sink by 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 by 2030, but India did not clarify the base year, meaning that this increment would be counted as compared to which year exactly. There was no clarity on that. The government of India has said that for us the base year would be 2005, but we have not really told the UNFCCC that this is what our decision is, so the official communication has not gone ahead. That is why many environmentalists are saying that the government of India right now is not doing enough to create carbon sink as much as we should have. The Forest Survey of India, a report that comes once in 2 years, tells that India had close to 30 billion tons of CO2 equivalent in 2015. So the correct answer would be D. None of the statements is incorrect. This is an article in the Indian Express newspaper that talks in detail about India's carbon sink target. As you can see, these numbers have been given here from the Forest Survey of India that comes once in 2 years. This article tells about the issue of the baseline year, which has still not been officially communicated to the UNFCCC. Question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to National Assessment and Accreditation Council assessing system. First, the NAAC is an autonomous body under the University Grants Commission that assesses and certifies higher education institutions with gradings as part of accreditation. Second, the ratings of institutions range from A++ to C. If an institution is graded D, it means it is not accredited. Third, only higher education institutions that are at least 10 years old or from where at least 3 batches of students have graduated can apply. Again, you have to tell how many of these given statements is or are wrong. While the first and the second statements are correct, the third statement is wrong here. Why? Because those higher education institutions which are at least 6-year-old and not 10, and from where at least 2 batches have graduated and not 3 are eligible, and they can have their accreditation from the NAAC, which is a government authority that gives rankings to higher education institutions. So out of the 3 given statements, only one statement is wrong. The answer here would be A, while the first and the second statements are absolutely correct. The reason why we are discussing this is because there have been multiple articles in newspapers about NAAC, and there is a controversy about the way in which it operates. It is alleged that there are certain irregularities. In fact, the chairperson of NAAC's executive committee also resigned after repeatedly demanding an independent inquiry into the functioning of the council. The NAAC was set up in 1994 to assess the quality of India's higher education institutions. There is a multi-layered assessment process that they follow to grade colleges and universities all across the country. You can get a lot of other details in this article about NAAC. For example, in 2019, the UGC had launched a scheme called Paramarsh, under which one of the best performing institutes would serve as mentors to at least 5 institutes who aspired to get accredited through the NAAC. Next, question number 4. Consider the following statements with regards to the Chabahar port. Number 1. The port of Chabahar is located in the southeastern Iran in Gulf of Oman. Second, it is the only Iranian port with direct access to the ocean. Third, it will make way for India to bypass Pakistan in transporting goods to Afghanistan using a sea-land route. Which of these given statements is or are correct? The correct answer here is D. It's a pretty simple question. Chabahar port, as you know, remains in the news time and time again. This is an attempt by the government of India to be able to reach Afghanistan without having to go through Pakistan. So rather than having a transit route to Pakistan, we would rather go to the Chabahar port in Iran and then have a rail and road connectivity to enter Afghanistan from here. The Chabahar port has largely been built due to India's assistance both in terms of the technical superiority and the money that has been given by India. The reason that it is in the news is because India will send 20,000 metric tons of wheat to Afghanistan through the Chabahar port. This assistance from India will be in partnership with the UN World Food Programme, and this is a major example of how the Chabahar port can play a major part in India's foreign policy. Next is a previous year question from 2021. Bisphenol A or BPA, which is a cause of concern, is a structural or key component in the manufacture of which of the following kinds of plastics? Low density polyethylene, polycarbonate, polyethylene terephthalate, or polyvinyl chloride. The correct answer here would be polycarbonate. This is a difficult question to answer since it's a factual question from the field of science and not many people go into such details. BPA is actually a precursor to many important plastics, primarily many polycarbonates and epoxy resins. They are the ones that are made with the help of the BPA. It has certain health concerns as well. Next is the fact of the day, and today we want to discuss the status of property tax in Jammu and Kashmir. The reason that it is in the news is that last month the Jammu Kashmir administration had notified rules for levying of property tax in towns and cities of Jammu Kashmir Union Territory. This tax is levied everywhere except Jammu and Kashmir. There are 19 municipal councils and 57 municipal committees in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Until 2002, the Sales Tax Department of Jammu and Kashmir state did used to levy a tax on the income of the landlord, such as the rent in the urban areas, but that tax was not really shared with the urban local bodies. This property tax was levied under Jammu Kashmir Urban Immovable Property Tax Rules of 1962. The tax earlier was payable every quarter and a penalty was levied on the delay in any payment. The government had then stopped collecting this tax, mainly because, as per the government, the cost of collecting the tax was much higher than the money that the government was earning. Now it has been brought back. The administration of the Union Territory now has said that under Section 71A of Jammu Kashmir Municipal Act of 2000, the Union Ministry has decided to levy this tax. Also, not every property owner will have to pay. Those houses with the area smaller than 1000 square feet, which make up 40% of the total houses, will be exempt from paying these taxes. Of the remaining houses, almost 80% will pay less than 600 rupees a year as per the administration. So it would not be a very big dent on anyone's pocket as per the administration. As per the administration's rules, about 30,000 shops will pay less than 2,000 in the annual property tax, and 20,000 of these shops will pay less than 1,500 rupees, which is very little as compared to how much tax is paid by the shop owners in the adjacent states of Jammu and Kashmir. This is it for today's daily quiz video. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye. Jai Hind.